And here comes Mark Singh from the halfway line. Around one man, two men. Peterson comes sliding in. And Singh pops a lovely ball over his head. Now Mark Singh is running full speed. Bouncing the ball from knee to knee. He's absolutely unplayable. Singh gets past the last defender. 30 metres out. And boots a rocket of a ball. Sent into the top corner of the net. What a goal from Singh. Absolute split millimetre perfection. A gem of a ball from this mercurial American. The man of the match, the White Pele, the Swan of Colorado. He scores the goal his talent so richly deserves. Absolutely incredible from the greatest football player in the heavens, Mark Singh!
Welcome to the Unapologetic Man podcast. The only podcast that's all about self-improvement, confidence, success, women, and being a man without making any apologies for it.
What is up, you absolute champions? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Uniform Mike Papa, the Unapologetic Man podcast. I sincerely appreciate you. I thought that intro was pretty funny. I had that done a couple years ago. The Swan of Colorado, the White Pele, Mark Singh. The reason why I put that back in there is because I was reading a statement from Cristiano Ronaldo. You guys may be familiar with him. He's a football player, also known as soccer in the United States. And he's like, I think I'm the best player that's ever been. I have all the skills. I have all the stats. I have everything you ever need to be considered the best. So I'm convinced I'm the best. Therefore, I'm the best. Now, on one hand, I kind of have to respect the guy for having that kind of frame, right? He's just like, I'm the best motherfucker there's ever been. As long as I believe it, it's true. Because let's be real, boys. Your reality and the way you think dictates your experience. So what you believe is true for you. Therefore, it is true. And I had to respect that. But at the same time, which the comments will corroborate, I was a little bit like, really? You're saying you're the best and therefore everybody else should believe you're the best too? Was a little bit arrogant, was a little bit full of himself. And honestly, if you have to say it, you probably don't really believe it. And that's what the vast majority of the comments said. And everybody said, who's the real GOAT? You know who the real GOAT is, gentlemen. It is Mark Singh. No, that's not right. That's not right. It's Messi. Everybody was saying Messi's the best. And I have to agree, that guy is a freaking phenom, dude. He is just an alien from a different planet. He's so damn good at soccer, better yet, football. So boys, I hope you enjoy that. Today we are going to talk about how you could be a nice guy, how you could treat a girl like gold without being a floor mat. Because I know a lot of you guys listening, you're good dudes. You want to treat a woman well, and that's a testament to your character, bro. And I super respect that about you. And honestly, I'm the same way. I don't want to be a dick. I don't want to be confrontational. I don't necessarily want to be disagreeable, where many of you are listening to my podcast and be like, dude, that Mark Singh is the most disagreeable guy on this entire planet. But the reason I have to teach you guys so many disagreeable type tactics and techniques is because girls are going to test you. Just like I talked about in my previous episode, why you should never sell yourself to a woman. She's going to try to make you sell yourself to her because she's testing you. Now, we shouldn't be resentful towards women for this. This is how they determine if you're a beta cuck fluffer or if you're an alpha male. So she needs to test you to see if you actually are that alpha guy. And she's going to throw out tests and you need to pass them. That's why I'm always talking about being disagreeable, controlling the frame, flipping tables on her like a frame control master, like a master negotiator, because she's going to test you. But once you guys are in a relationship, the question is, can you treat her like gold, yes or no? Or do you constantly have to be disagreeable, putting her in her place, as it were, and being this dude who can't just be a good guy? The answer to that unequivocally is, yeah, you can be a good dude, but it's under the premise of the rules that I'm going to teach you in today's episode. If she abides by those rules, and I want to say this, her participation is a big part of this. If she participates in the way that a woman, quote unquote, should, we're going to get into that, so don't get butthurt. I'm going to explain what I mean by that. If she participates in the male-female interaction, the masculine-feminine dance that I'm going to lay out for you in today's episode, then yeah, brothers, you can treat her like absolute gold. She's going to feel like a princess. She's going to feel adored by you, and she's going to fall deeper in love with you because you're treating her how she's been fantasizing a guy treats her since she's been a kid. But if you don't have the following parameters in place, you're going to get blown out, as so many of you guys have. So it's that dance between being a nice guy, but showing her you're not to be f***ed with, leading her to where she wants to be led, but also being the dude who could be chivalrous, treat her like a princess, and yes, treat her like gold. That's the balance. Before I jump into all those deep techniques, brothers, I have to read this testimonial that I just got from my Aussie brother. This is one of the funniest motherfuckers I've ever met. I absolutely love my Aussie clients. They crack me up every time. Here's what he says. This is a short one, but it's a testament to what's possible if you come work with us in our 3-month coaching program. He says this: Mark Boss Hog motherfucking Singh did away with the apps months ago, focusing more on cold approach as it feels more natural, wholesome, and sends my testosterone through the roof. Listen to this, boys. Had a 3-way, which in United States we call a threesome, 5 weeks ago. Currently have 3 girls on the go. Hooked up with a 10 on Saturday night at a wedding, then had a beach date with a different hottie on the beach Sunday morning, which ended up in a hot, sticky, sandy beach sex, which was interrupted by an old Karen with no teeth and her dog. I have written this testimonial 3 times now, but I keep growing, so I keep rewriting it. That's your fault, Mark. Think I'm just going to send one every time the universe tells me to tell you you're a good in Australia. This is the highest of accolades an honorable man such as yourself can receive. Mr. Foster, I super appreciate that testimonial, brother. Much love to you. And you too, brother, are an absolute legend whose results are going to continue to improve because you had the balls to invest in yourself. Boys, if you want these results too, if you want the results of every testimonial that I read on seemingly every single podcast episode, because they keep coming and coming and coming, because this program works, you need to sign up below. Click the link in the description, fill in the application. You and I will talk and see if we can 10x your results with women, just as we did for our boy, Mr. Foster from Australia. I work with dudes from Canada, Australia, United States, England, Germany, Finland, get a ton of applicants from Norway, every country all over the world, even Japan, China, everywhere. And we get results time after time after time. And I'll tell you, it's a fun transformation, boys. When you could get a girl attracted to you on command, there's no better feeling. What if you could do that? Have you ever thought about that? How good would it feel? The next girl who you see, who you're going to go home and masturbate to in a puddle of tears in the corner with a helmet on as you hit your head against the wall, what would it be like if you could have that girl in your bed? I could give you that power. The real question is, why haven't you signed up yet? That's a question that only you could answer, but I too would be curious as to why that is. Could it be fear? Procrastination? You think you can't afford the investment? Come explore with us. We'll talk about the investment, both monetarily as well as time-wise, and see if it's realistic for you. Let's talk. Click the link in the description below, fill in the application. All right, boys. So how do you treat a girl like gold? This is a really interesting topic because it's nebulous. There's all kinds of things that kind of need to fit into place in order for this to work out. But you now being an unapologetic man, we have to set the precedence that you are not to be f***ed with. And yes, boys, you have to be the one who is in power, which means she needs to willingly acquiesce to your masculine energy, and she needs to go into her feminine energy. So I'm going to set the precedence of this whole episode with this statement. If she's not willing to participate in the dynamic that I'm about to explain to you, then you unfortunately cannot treat her like gold. You unfortunately cannot be the nice guy the way I know you guys want to be the nice guy. I'm talking getting her flowers, adoring her, giving her scratchies and cuddles for hours on end. If she's not willing to participate in this, then you're not able to display these nice guy tendencies. I'm sorry, boys. That's just the way it is. And if you're a female listening, instead of getting pissed off and sending me hate mail, I strongly suggest you listen because this is truth. Not only have I been doing this for multiple decades, but I've dealt with tens of thousands of dudes who time and time again corroborate this truth that I'm going to lay out for you guys. So first and foremost, boys, we are talking about a normal heterosexual relationship. You are the man, she is the woman. You are masculine, she is feminine. I'm not saying that she is less than you. I'm not saying that you're better than her. What I'm saying is the masculine role must lead. And who in any interaction is the natural leader between two people? Think about this deeply. The person who's leading is always the person who wants less. It's the person who's reacting less, desiring less, needing less. Now, oftentimes, being a nice dude, you have gone into relationships with women needing more. You've been needy. You've supplicated to her, you've blown smoke up her ass and fluffed her feathers and made her feel like she's the masculine role. Instead, what you have to do is you have to hold yourself back. And I know, boys, this is controversial, but you will prove through the majority of your experience that this is true. If you've ever wanted more than she wanted, if you ever chased more than she chased, if you ever desired to see her more than she wanted to see you, if you are begging for sex or begging for compliments, begging for her to validate you, you have been blown out. And I know every single guy listening right now is like, damn, this dude's right. Of course I'm right. And I'm so confident in it that even as hundreds of thousands of people listen to this, I know 99.99% of guys are going to say, yeah, that's true. Because in a typical female to male interaction, the male must lead. And in order for him to lead, he has to want less than she wants. So that's where we come into what I call the 80-100 rule, one of the central tenets of my coaching, which is you need to desire 80% of what she desires. What this means is this. If she, for example, compliments you 5 times, and I'm just using this example for math, I'm not saying she's going to rapid fire compliment you 5 times. It's just mathematics. If she compliments you 5 times, what's 80% of 5? Come on, boys, put on that thinking cap. That's right. You're a smart motherfucker. It's 4. So she compliments you 5 times, you compliment her 4. Now, another one for you. Let's say she wants to hang out, 10 times a month. Come on, boys, what's 80% of 10? That's right. It would be 8. So you would hang out with her 8 times per month. You are giving her 80% of what she's giving you when you're in that relationship with her. And this goes all the way down to the beginning. When you're talking to her, when you're texting with her, all that stuff, obviously, I dive deep into in my 3-month coaching program. And that's why we get guys like Mr. Foster, whose review I read in the beginning of this episode, getting the results he gets. Because from the beginning, you're giving her less than what she actually wants from you. Therefore, you are in the leadership role. Remember, the person who has the power in the relationship is the one who wants less. Now that you want less and you've established that, she can go into her feminine energy. Femininity follows. And I do not care how much hate mail I get. That's what traditional femininity does. Now, that word traditional might trigger some of you. And you're like, oh my God, he's pushing traditional roles. Yes, I am, because that's the way heterosexual men and heterosexual women are programmed. Yes, I will admit there are some unique dynamics that can work out between like non-binary women and men, and the girl thinks she's a dude, yet she's attracted to other chicks that think they're dudes. And then when they get together, they go in the feminine, and the other one who thinks it's a girl and is a dog half the time thinks it's the man, and then they switch. That can work in some crazy ass ways. It's like shooting an arrow through a Cheerio. That shit is so difficult to get down. I'm talking about, yes, traditional male-female interactions. You're the man, you're in the masculine. She's the woman, she's in the feminine. And by the way, a quick caveat on this note, let's stop trying to attack and make wrong traditional quote-unquote relationships. They work. They've worked for centuries. So why are we trying to change it? Why are we trying to rewrite something? Why are we denying that there's 2 genders? That shit makes no sense to me. And please do not email me, because you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the effort of 1 click, delete. I don't even read hate mail. In fact, my assistant deletes it before I even see it. So as Ozzy Osbourne said, save your breath. So in the traditional male-female interaction, the man has to want less than the woman. The man has to lead. The woman has to go into her feminine willingly. And I'll tell you, boys, Get a woman like my girl, Marissa. She is a pipe-hitting motherfucker. She is an executive who has 25 people working for her. She has to utilize masculine traits when she's at work. But when she comes home, she loves it that she could go into her feminine. And instead of ordering me around, telling me what to do, trying to flex up and have the frame, as a lot of you guys have experienced with women who can't go into their feminine, she acquiesces and says, I can be a girl now. She becomes a girl. She lets me lead. And this doesn't degrade the value that she has as a woman. In fact, she's the most valuable when she goes in her feminine. She's nurturing. She's caring. She's socially intelligent. Here's something that the Tao Te Ching says that I so agree with. Women are like water, so gentle, so delicate, so healing, yet has the power to dissolve granite and make a gigantic canyon. So femininity, while seemingly weak to some people, is actually some of the strongest energy in the world. And when a woman willingly becomes feminine and goes into it, she accesses that deep feminine power, just like Marissa does when she comes home from work. So she utilizes masculine traits at work. Then she comes home, she's the woman, and she lets me lead. Where are we going to dinner tonight? Tall. She always calls me Tall because I'm tall. That's her little nickname for me. What are we doing for dinner tonight, Tall? Come on, sweetheart. Let's go over here. We're going to go to this restaurant. I'm going to lead you to where you want to be led. That makes the dynamic work. When she's willing to go in her feminine and when you're willing to go into your masculine, you could treat her like gold, just like I do. I bring her flowers. I give her massages. I compliment her. I adore her. Man, when I see those perky ass titties come out in the morning and I get a boner the size of the Statue of Liberty, I'm touching her, I'm feeling her, I'm kissing on her, and she goes into her feminine like a little kitten being petted, and she purrs and she lets me dote on her, adore her, but I'm always wanting 80% of what she wants. So while I do adore her, I give her a little bit less than what she really wants because, again, I have to be the one who's in quote unquote power, the leadership role. That's masculine, leading the woman to where she wants to be led. So if you get a woman who's willing to be feminine, and yeah, it's getting harder and harder to find these days, but don't get it twisted. They are out there. Then you could treat her like gold. You could do all the things you've done in the past, but the difference is you're giving her less than what she wants. You're letting her want more of you, and you're taking her to this experience without having to let her lead. The problem with nice guys who treat their women like gold is they think the letting her lead part is a part that they should include when treating her like gold. Because they think, well, if I'm going to treat her well, I'm going to give her everything she wants. Therefore, wherever she wants to go eat, I'll take her to. Whatever kind of flowers she wants, I'll get her those. But here's the problem. You've put her in the leadership role. You're saying, what kind of flowers do you want? And she says, oh, I would love to have a dozen red roses. And you're like, okay. And you go get them. That's the problem. You need to be like a detective, understand that she loves roses because, I don't know, say, for example, she posts lots of pictures of roses on her Instagram page. Then you're like, okay, dude, she likes roses. I'm going to go get her the roses, leading her to where she wants to be led, not putting the leadership role, that burden, into her lap. Because when you put the leadership role into her lap, thinking you're being a nice guy, thinking you're giving her what she wants, you've put her in the masculine role. So the balance is this. You have to lead, you have to be masculine, and you take her to where she wants to go, thus treating her like gold. And it's so easy to get this mixed up, as so many of you guys have. You've wanted more, you've given too much, you've let her lead, thinking that letting her lead is treating her well, but that actually makes her resent you. So it's that balance, again, that I said at the top of the episode. You are not to be fucked with. You are controlling the frame. You are the one who's the leader and you want less, but at the same time, you make her feel feminine. You make her feel special. You make her feel adored. You dote upon her. You compliment her. You give her flowers and you treat her like gold. Then if she flexes up, if she disrespects you, you pull back, sticking to the 80-100 rule always, showing her you're not to be fucked with. And if they disrespect you treating them like gold, you pull that back a little bit. Listen, boys, if she's willing to participate, she gets everything she wants. She gets a dude who treats her well, but at the same time isn't to be fucked with. Leads her to where she wants to be led, but at the same time makes her feel adored. shows her I will drop you at the flip of a switch if you mess with me in the wrong way. But at the same time, I want to be with you. I don't need to be with you, but I want to be with you. I adore you. And in the case of me and Marissa, I love you, but don't get it twisted. If you cheat on me, disrespect me, there's going to be consequences. That's what women want because that's masculine. You are the leader, and you are only the leader by being willing to want less than she does. And only then, when she goes into her feminine and two accepts that role, can you dote upon her? Can you treat her like gold? So can you be the nice guy, but at the same time, the dude who is not to be f***ed with? Yes. And that's the perfect man. That's what every woman wants. The problem is oftentimes the dudes who aren't to be messed with, they're kind of assholes and they don't treat her well. And the guys who are treating her gold supplicate to her too much. Give her the masculine role. Let her lead because they think that's going to make her feel more like a princess. So it's that juxtaposition. It's that balance, boys. And if you can get this balance down, oh my hell, she is going to fall in love with you. And this is yet again why all my clients get the success. It's these subtleties, these things that no other dating coach talks about that make girls fall deep for you. Not only getting initial attraction, but falling deeply in love with you. So those of you who have been left in the past, you ain't going to be left again, man. Those of you who've been cheated on, it ain't going to happen, bro, because you're going to be the perfect man that gives her that perfect balance. If you too want to experience this, if you want to become this in your thinking, in your behavior, in your actions, in your body language, and who you are as a man, you need to come work with us, brother. Click the link in the description below. Check out all the testimonials, 250 of them on my website. Review after review, and then video testimonials as well for those of you who think I would actually waste my time faking that stuff. What a hassle-off that would be, creating all these new emails and like emailing myself. Besides, if you look at the language, they're all written different. They have different syntax. Not even the Swan of Colorado, the white Pele, would have the skill set to be able to write that many different reviews. They're all real. They're all singing the praises of this groundbreaking program that isn't just information, boys. It's a transformation, and you too are invited to experience that yourself, to 10x your results with women. What would that mean for your life? What would it mean if the next girl you see, you had the power to attract her on command? And I want to tell you this, when you turn off this episode and you do see that girl, I want you to think about what I'm saying right now. I could tell you how to get that girl, bro, but what are you probably going to do? You're going to look at her and be like, damn, I wish I could have her, and then think about her for the next 2 weeks because you didn't approach her. What if you had that skill set and that belief system? Just imagine how your life would change. So when you see that next girl, bro, I want you to think back to this very episode and be like, damn, maybe that guy is right. I have a lot of information from his podcast, but what I need is a transformation. You need that extra boost to be able to go approach that girl and get her attracted to you. Unfortunately, if you don't, you're just going to keep hitting print on the same printer over and over again and getting the same results. I don't know about you, but I don't want to live my life that way. So click the link in the description below. Gentlemen, I hope you got a lot out of this. I have an awesome one coming up this Thursday, so please stay tuned for that one, and I will see you in the next episode.